struggling. I saw a lot of, my family members needing babysitters and, them not having a choice, no freedom. So when you're younger, that's the choice. Those are the words you make. Those are the choices you make. Right. I don't want any kids. But then when you get older, you start to see how valuable their teenagers are to them. Mm-hmm. Their kids are to them. Mm-hmm. So now it's like, oh man. But at the same time, it's like,
All right, so you got Mary J. Blige. She talking about the end, kind of trying to weigh the pros and the cons of having children. And somehow, it's not that bad. Nah, she wish she had children. She wish she had children. And what's so crazy that I took from this, hit the link in the description, join the Patreon. Let me make sure I got this mic right. But what's so crazy to me is how, a couple things here. How women can be so far-sighted but so short-sighted at the same time. And let me explain this real quick. Women will sit here and say, I want to be married by 29. I want to have my first kid by 30. I'm just throwing examples out there. I want to be living in Milan by 33. I want to be retired by 36. And although in their minds, it's so unrealistic. And I'm going to interject another point in there that is so unrealistic because it's funny, and it's probably need to kind of more likely be said on a Patreon. But what's the funny thing about it is a lot of women are infertile. They're talking about like the epidemic of men not being fertile or having an erection because of porn or too much this, too much that. But man, as much as the young guys are infertile or low testosterone, Jesus Christ, the ladies are just as infertile. But that's another reason why, that's another reason why it's unrealistic, And the other point I just want to make for a second is the fact that how they past trauma just proves my point that women don't heal, or at least most women don't heal, or they don't heal in time. How traumatic or a mother or a sister or a niece or a friend is struggling as a single mother makes them say, I don't want to do this. And you don't even get to see the beauty of motherhood, even in a non-traditional form, or rather yet in a good traditional form. All you see is trauma. And when they look at these teenagers and they look at their friends raising these teenagers, you know what I'm saying? And they're looking at them and they're like, man, I remember when he was this tall, and they have all these memories and they have all this love and women are emotional and they feel that. But their trauma destroys them. And it may even not be trauma, and I say this all the time, it may not even be trauma from which they went through. Somebody else's trauma becomes their trauma. And now what's so dangerous in that situation is now you have social media and you have women lying on social media or telling the truth or half truths about their situation. And now women are getting traumatized from other women's situation that could be lying. That can be untruthful. Excuse me. Still a little bit under the weather. And now a story that's a total fabrication or a total lie, now this has convinced a woman that, being married is bad. Having a child is bad. Men are bad. Not knowing it's a lie, or she met this nigga at the liquor store, or So Mary J. Blige wishes she had children. And that's what it boiled down to. Her trauma, and her being selfish. Her being very, very selfish. And not seeing a beauty within motherhood. And now when she 56, 60 years old or whatever she is, still look good. Now she's like, damn, I wish I would have had that. No. You made your decision and obviously she has to live with it. But when a woman who's supposed to be quote unquote a multiplier of things, or a woman in general is selfish, why would you even want to this woman in your vicinity even for recreational use? But other than recreational use, what good is she? I mean, she can't physically reproduce. That's fine. That's your anatomy. But if I don't want to be a mother. I can't see myself being a mother. Most women are selfish. Oh, you can die, but they want men to make all these sacrifices, and they won't make the greatest sacrifice you can on this planet is to reproduce. And I think a lot of women have traumatic stories about their pregnancy, how they got pregnant. And I think it's very important that women be happy during pregnancy. I really do. That's one time the happiness, you have to do everything that you can as a man to make sure the happiness is there. Because that's going to affect the mood of the baby. That's going to affect the mood of the house. That's going to affect the mood of everybody. So you want to make sure that pregnancy is she's happy. But I mean, yeah, we all have regrets when we go on something that we can't necessarily obtain anymore. But like I said, it's just trauma. Somebody else's experience becomes your trauma. And I can't knock her, because there's some people who have traumatic experiences because somebody got bit by a dog. So now they think all dogs are evil. Somebody, you got women who really trying to push women over to lesbianism, or to push people over to this non-trad situation where they're saying that, oh, you don't need a man, this, that, and they pushing that because they can't get a man, they can't keep a man, or they really like women. So they're trying to recruit people to misery, to lesbianism. They're trying to recruit people. And women have a cult mind following. That's why women are easier to pimp than men. So in general, it's a lot of responsibility in having a child, but it's a lot of responsibility in being an adult. There's a lot of responsibility for Mary J. Blige. She's in a situation where she's feeding multiple families. There's a lot of people in her family that this is a lot of responsibility being an adult. And I asked the brother, about having a kid. He says it's the best thing in the world. And women need to understand that the importance of God, not just saying I'm a soldier of God, or I'm a follower of God, or I believe in God, or I believe in Christianity, the Bible, or spirit, whatever, right? You need to abide by it, bro. You need to live by it as much as possible. And you're not gonna be perfect, nor am I. But then understand, after God, your husband comes, your children comes. And the point of it being this: you value that man, you value your children, bro. It's gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. It's gonna be hard, but guess what? Starting over again, being single with no kids, being a Catholic, everything is hard. But I'll leave you with this. I remember Capadonna. I was watching the Wu-Tang documentary that they did on Showtime, right? This is a few years ago, right? I was still living in Brightmore in Detroit. And I love that documentary. Love the TV show on Hulu too. I need to watch it over again. My annual watch. And I'm on Malcolm in the Middle, not one of my favorite shows. But he talked about having his daughter, and it always stuck to me. He said, this is my greatest contribution to this world. It was an old interview they put on the doc, and he had a picture. Remember, he used to take a picture, and he used to come out the Polaroid, and he said it was my daughter. He showed my daughter. He said, this is the greatest contribution that I've given this world. And that's always stuck to me. That's always stuck to me, man. That really has. I love children. I didn't have an affection for animals. I wouldn't say I didn't, but until I got my dog. But to be honest with you, man, you know, watching, you know, children, you know, even when I lived in the hood, grow up and, you know, be bad or be good, or, you know, buy them something off the ice cream truck, and, well, you know, just having conversations with them, and, you know, seeing them grow up is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, giving them advice. They may not listen to it now. It might be in that hard drive of the brain somewhere. And for you not to want to reproduce a child, it's crazy, bro. For you to, you know, put money in your career and, you know, be selfish like that, you're gonna have some regrets. A lot of women not gonna admit it. They're gonna say, well, you know, these men ain't shit. You ain't shit. Because if every man you've been with ain't shit, what that say about you? So I can't complain about the women I've been with. If they all shit, I ain't shit. You know? So I'm one who don't like to burn bridges. If I have to burn a bridge, you know, and I say this from a selfish point of view, because it's me. You deserved it. You deserve it. I give people a lot of grace, and I try to see things from their point of view. Honestly, I give people a lot of grace, and I like to see things from your point of view. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. This video, when I heard it, really touched me, man. But hey, hit the link in the description. Find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.